stay-at-home dad, watching Disney movies he never had. His daughter digs through all the VHS, crushing the classics in a princess dress. Informed like Scuttle, Kurt's got your ticket, making it real like Jiminy Cricket. Most are off the Captain Hook, but if the Tweedledum, he'll be taking more shots than Bambi's mom. Leave him raised like Simba, or cracked like the beach dishes. He'll show you a whole new world, you won't need pre-wishes. Stay-at-home Disney dad.
We get a kick-ass intro with a gallop along with the beat of the song, and then it's pure jazz nonsense. I am so unprepared for this. Typical old-timey Buena Vista intro with credits over that raw, unfinished animation style before we get into real video footage. And it's the Herbie guy, it's Dean Jones. He's getting into an elevator with a giant saddle. Dean Jones is playing the exact same character he does in Herbie. I think he can only play one character, and that's fine. I love this guy. Tomes Advertising Agency is the floor where he gets off. He's late for his meeting. The running gag is that the saddle clip keeps getting caught on everything as he runs by. Whoa there, Dean Jones. Big news is that some important guy named Dugan is coming to the meeting, so let's head to the meeting. One of his underlings has made a mannequin into a full-on like digestive system dummy, like he has the mannequin hollowed out so you can watch the tubes of how people swallow things. On the way to the meeting, he reads his mail and he realizes his daughter's racked up $900 bill for riding lessons. They try feeding this mannequin dummy a pill in the crowded elevator, and it's freaking everyone out. This thing is really uncomfortable and it's really funny. We jump into the meeting and the bigwig client is not happy with the current Aspercell campaign his advertising agency has come up with. He's all J. Jonah Jameson about it with his cigar. I want new clients. I want to move up in class, he says. He wants people to wish they had indigestion just so they could take Aspercell. Now, as a provincial creative director who writes commercials and creates ad campaigns for a living, hey, shut up. When I started this over 3 years ago, I was a stay-at-home dad. Anyway, as someone who writes commercials for a living, I am stealing that line. He says they have 24 hours to do better, come up with a better campaign, or they're out, and my clients have apparently stolen that line. Back in the meeting, they Hail Mary and they show him the dummy, they stick a pill in its mouth and it malfunctions and sparks, and he looks back at him and goes, 24 hours. Okay, time to get the horse in the striped pajamas or whatever. Oh my God, no, no, I'm sorry, that is something else. Gray Flannel Suit, Gray Flannel Suit. Okay, we go to the riding academy. He's going to chew out his daughter, and this is where he's going to have that advertising epiphany, and I don't care how predictable this is, I'm all in. I love these old movies. The kid riders are talking to the instructor, and the kid, Helen, wants a horse of her own. They're telling Helen to do the favorite father thing. So what you do is you bring your dad a martini and you ask him to tell you about his day, and when he says, let's talk about something else, you say, why don't you buy me a horse? Helen's daddy is Dean. He storms over to the female riding instructor. He wants to talk to her dad or the man in charge of this place about this $900 riding bill. This has aged well. He's embarrassed because this girl is the owner. Guess what? She's a hottie, but they are off on the wrong foot. So there's no way these two will ever eventually fall in love in this movie, right? Or maybe a certain horse in denim overalls will force a change of heart between these two. I used a different joke that time. I won't make people cry. Striped pajamas, oh my God. Helen tries the daddy dearest routine but screws it up. It's kind of funny. Back at home, he's pacing, trying to come up with a new campaign. Has he tried Come On Down? Clients still love that when he crumples up paper and his little dog picks him up and carries him under the couch after he's done crumpling him up. He's angry and he's starting to drink. There's an Aunt Martha and she and Helen are beating around the bush asking him for a horse, which is better than beating a dead horse, I guess. That joke was forced. Don't laugh at that. I'm sorry. She finally asks him for a horse. He goes, well, how much is that going to cost? $200? Nope, close to $2,000. He doesn't like that. He laughs right in his daughter's face. Helen looks like she's about to burst into hard knock life or this set'll come out tomorrow, but instead she just cries and runs away. He goes, $2,000? Is she that good? Aunt says she's the best in her class. Aunt says for $2,000 she could learn to jump fences. He goes, for $2,000 I'll jump fences myself. Yeah, dad energy. Aunt plays a different hand. She's like, Helen feels ugly and homely, but horse riding makes her feel pretty. What? And oh my God, there's a light in the there's a devil in the light. What the hell? There's a devil face in the light cover. Jesus, the devil has inspired him. The light bulb goes on and it's the devil. He wants a horse for the Aspercell campaign. And then his daughter can ride the horse. He pitches it to Dugan. Horse shows are high society, so it's a win-win-win-win. Dugan likes it. The horse would be named Aspercell. He asks who will ride the horse, and Dean says, well, my daughter. And Dugan says, do it, and I'm going to make you a partner. Helen now has a horse called Aspercell. They are waiting for the horse to show up. Aspercell, the drug horse. I didn't think I heard it right the first time, but his little dog's name is Herbie, and I love all of that. Helen is excited to ride the new horse, Aspercell, and he's excited to ride his daughter's riding instructor. No, that is 100% correct. The horse arrives, the trailer is here, time for the big reveal. Here's the horse in the hot pink cutoffs. No, he's not wearing any clothes. Okay, the horse is agitated. The driver says, well, he's angry because he's had two guys shoving him from behind, and yeah, best I didn't swing at that one. Okay, the gate is stuck. So this kick-ass horse just jumps the fence without even being prompted. Now, I'm no horse rider, but I feel like that's not something that should be celebrated. The Say Book Horse Show is the next show coming up. We see another child boy actor who's in all these old Disney movies. I should know who this is. Aspercell has a Pimp My Ride trailer, and they get to the first event, but now the times have changed, and she's up next, so they're scrambling to get ready, and this kid, they meet Ronnie, the young man from the car. He basically says he hates horses, but he gets dragged to these events because of his sister. Dean Jones takes a liking to this grumpy little b****. The event starts, horse jumping montage goes, and then the dumb aunt keeps asking a bunch of questions that allows Dean to explain the rules to the viewers. And now, how if Helen wins 3 medals, she goes to Horse Nationals or whatever in Washington. She's up next, and the horse is taking all sorts of liberties and like goes sideways and stuff, but the crowd loves it, and it goes and it jumps, and she's number 313, and she's been excused because she just wasn't good enough. Dean throws a tantrum in the stands. Great start to my vice presidency. She's what the judges call a push-button ride. The horse was in control. Ronnie explains this to him with his boyish good looks. Horse hot teacher tells Dean that Helen is fine. She told Helen that everyone loses their first race. Dean is all flustered. What happened? You said she was good. She's like, she is. She just needs more practice. She asks him if he's one of those parents that has to win every time, and she delivers that line like looking right into the camera, like, suck it to you parents watching this who push their kids too hard. Good stuff. Dean loses it, and she's like, we're done here. And he wants her to give Helen a lesson every day after school and one on Sunday. His handsome smile is too much for SJ, the horse trainer, and she can't stay mad at him. She agrees to it every day after school and on Saturdays. Montage of Helen training. Dean asks the teacher why she's so hot and yet single. She dives into the sad story of her recent failed relationship, and he does this. I mean, come on. Helen has graduated, and the teachers entered her into the next show. She thinks she's ready to start winning some ribbons. Ribbons winning montage. She wins her first medal, and Dean forces himself on her teacher. Now Ronnie tries to get some alone time with Helen. He asks her to movie and a pizza. She says she has to practice. He goes, let the horse practice. They agree to go on a date Saturday. He says no to a root beer and then walks away drinking hers. My man. Mr. Dugan shows up at the next horse show, and he wants to speak to Dean privately. Helen is getting ready inside the trailer, but she overhears Dugan and just tearing into Dean, accusing him of setting this up to get his daughter a free horse. He promises his daughter will get a medal tonight, and then the third one next Friday, so she'll go to Washington. Like, no pressure. Helen, who overheard all this, now knows her dad's job. An entire pharmaceutical company is riding on her shoulders as she rides the horse's shoulders. She gets out there and she's freaked out, but no, swerve. She does a perfect ride, and Dugan stares her down from the crowd, and she wins her second medal. Wow, I was not expecting that at all. Love these old movies. Zig when you expect them to zag. Helen is spiraling. She's a nervous wreck about getting to Washington now that everything's on the line. The horse breaks out, and guess what? It jumps a fence, and it takes off, and it comes into the house. Dean is in his boxers, and he starts getting drunk and berating this horse. Look who's here, the loser of the week. He threatens to send the horse to the glue factory. The horse runs away, and he chases him, and he falls over, and he's all drunk and half naked outside and talking to a horse. And like, I feel that. We've all been there. Come on, be honest. We've all been there. The aunt gets home and she sees his clothes spewed all over the place. The horse is gone, so she calls the cops and she's like, may I speak to the missing horse department? That's good stuff. He's out drunken in his underwear and riding the horse, and the cops pull up and the horse takes off, and they try to like arrest the horse and they try to arrest him, but the horse keeps jumping stuff. Lots of green screen shots. The stunt rider looks nothing like Dean. Probably should have kept those shots a little further back, folks, because he's like full-on blonde dude in some of these scenes. He finally crashes into a greenhouse and he's arrested and he's put in jail. I feel like this movie should be wrapping up at this point, but I know it's not. I'm going to check the running time. Am I about to get Poppins? 154 minutes, not quite Poppins, but getting there. His name is actually Fred Bolton, the character, and there's a bunch of misunderstandings that keep Fred Bolton in jail. Helen hears on the news that the horse thief is in jail, and it turns out to be her father. She's like, what? Time to put on a dress and bake a cake with a file in it, sweetheart. Ronnie comes to pick her up, and she hides behind a horse and tries combing her hair. Ronnie thinks she's standing him up because, you know, her horse got stolen, her dad just got out of jail, and he just goes off on her, like, way too hard. Like, this guy just tears into her, and she breaks and cries, and she says, I hate horse shows! Now dad's back, he's out of jail. Ronnie starts talking to him, and he's like, hey, I'm not a dad, but if my kid hated something that much, I wouldn't make him do it. And Dean Jones with his prison tear tattoo, he's like, fuck are you talking about? And Ronnie explains that Helen knows he's gonna lose his job if she doesn't keep winning. So he confronts his daughter. He doesn't care about what Mr. Dugan says. A job is a job. What's here at home, that's what's important, and you'll never lose that. She turns around and she's like, I think I can get to Washington. And now he doesn't want her to go. Dad wipes the smeary makeup all over his daughter's face, and then he's like, go on your date, just go. She's like, but I'm not dressed properly. And you know, lady, I don't think Ronnie cares, because them clothes gonna be on the ground within 60 minutes, know what I'm saying? Yeah. The horse in the gray flannel suit. So now Helen doesn't want to race, and now Dad and the teacher named SJ are like, wait a second, maybe he could still make it to Washington. Aspercell might have what it takes to win the open jumping championship if he can make it to Washington as an open jumper champion. I feel like if you are the 1% watching this that knows about horse competitions, this is big news for me and everyone else. Whew, over my head. So now Dad agrees with SJ because now that his daughter's gone with Ronnie, he wants SJ's clothes on the floor within an hour as well. Dad's like, why are you helping us? She gets all sexy at him and says, I like the horse, and then drives away. That's good stuff. The next day, there's an expert that comes to watch the horse jump. Archer Madison is the guy, and he says, if the horse can jump as good as it looks in the stalls, we might have a shot. Okay, oh, hot damn, this guy is SJ's ex-man. Dean says, well, what's he doing here with him? Or what's he doing? And Helen explains,
she's gonna ride him. She's gonna ride him. She's gonna ride him.
oh, the horse. Oh, okay. He's gonna teach SJ to ride Helen's horse so they can win in Washington. And then she falls off, and then both men rush to help her up, and Fred is losing his jealous mind at her ex, Dodger, whatever. She says, I can make it to Washington if he helps me. And Fred's like, yeah, great stuff. Yeah, checkmate, you jealous. Here's what happens. He grits his teeth and he's like, on to Washington we go. Help her win, buddy. We're in Washington. And they are dragging this part out. Poor Helen has to sit in the crowd and watch the lady her dad is trying to bang compete with her horse. There's a lot going on here. Many layers. Like, they're really dragging this scene out. She's the last competitor. Helen whispers, come on, Aspie. Show me how, which has only been beaten by Go Get 'em Mac at the end of that Travis Tritt video for the most over-the-top, anguished well-wishing. SJ does it perfectly, and now the votes are in. Clean round, no faults. He yells, of course no faults, that's my girl! And his daughter side-eyes him before she could be like, what the f***, Dad? SJ is announced as the winner. Montage of SJ winning stuff with a horse. Now, again, these old movies need better editors. So much of this could have been cut. Does this need to be over 2 hours? Okay, it comes down to two horses in a grand jump-off. Right before the showdown, Fred distracts her by telling her he's madly in love with her. Like, right before she has to go out there. Couldn't that have waited another hour? Her ex comes in, he's like, these jumps are madness! You gotta figure these jumps out now! Jesus, read the room, Fred, not the time. Dugan is in the stands and he looks pleased. They added a great wall and they claim that if there's a tie, they will raise this wall. I mean, that won't happen, right? Coin toss and SJ goes first. The horse jumps and people cringe, and I'll be honest, I have no idea what I'm looking for. What makes a horse jump a good horse jump or a bad horse jump? I don't know. They're doing everything right, but I just don't feel the tension in this scene. She has a perfect score and the next dude goes, and while I'm expecting another perfect score, I hope Disney throws another curveball and he just falls off on the first jump and he's out. She wins. Nope. Perfect score. Second jump coming up. Isn't the jump off some like rap song. The wall is raised to 7 feet, but it's not a pole. They're using like thick bricks or rubber bricks to build this actual wall up higher. Wow, that looks dangerous. Now, time will be a factor as well if there's another perfect score tie. Her opponent goes first, and again, tension I just don't feel. The horse doesn't quite make it over the wall and knocks some of the bricks down. Dugan is about to have a heart attack. He looks so mad. Isn't he cheering against that horse? Okay, wow. She knocks over the first pole. That's equivalent to 4 faults. So they are tied unless she makes it over this wall. Then it'll come down to time. She leaps over the wall and... she wins by a point of a second. I was trying to add a little drama there that's not in the movie. And I'm so distracted by this, what this guy's wearing. He looks like Charlie's uncle. Aspercell is the winner. SJ's a champion. Aspercell is a champion. Helen got a horse. Dugan got the publicity for his product. And Fred saved his job as vice president. Everyone got what they wanted. Well, almost. One piece of business to attend to. Dean pouts away because he literally got everything he wanted except the girl. But Disney ain't gonna leave us with that ending. SJ finds him drinking in a horse stall. Come on, lady. How can you not realize how much of a catch this man is? She's like, oh, I was just making out with my ex as a way to thank him for the training. She asks, isn't there something you wanted to tell me? And he's about to go for it, and then his daughter bursts in, and she's like, oh, crap. When's the wedding, you two? And everyone laughs, and we end with this. Kurt Russell. It's always Kurt Russell. It's Kurt Russell or that Bobby Driscoll kid. No Gray Flannel Suit. What the
That's what I think about.
What do you think?
What we have is a concern about Curtis Anderson. His interviewing style is not the best. His personal appearance is not the best. I was wondering if the man has some kind of a hold over the channel that he's allowed to be employed for so long with the standards of journalism and personal appearance that he has. Thank you.
Okay, Macy.